It was a good day for Caleb Williams. Bottom line, full stop.
Phenomenal day for him.
Full stop. It was a good day.
He looked in command. There weren't any real problems as far as like getting plays off. He looked comfortable under center when they put him under center. He made wow throws. There were a couple of throws that you go, oh, careful, but let him take risk. If he's going to, if he needs to figure out what he can and can't get away with, why not do it in preseason games? And here's the thing that I thought was interesting about it, which I think should make Bears fans feel good about it. Buffalo's defense wasn't exotic, but it wasn't vanilla either. They sent people, I mean, it's basic blitzing stuff, but it wasn't like we're going to sit back in a shell and that's going to be it. They tried some stuff, and the Bears were able to, for the most part, handle it with their first unit. So I think as a first step, it's a wonderful first step for Caleb Williams, and I think that there's stuff to still teach him. That if you're Matt Eberflus, you can still walk into the meeting and go, hey, don't run after you throw the ball like you're a blocker, because that's a way to get your ass popped. Don't do that. Please.
The two things.
Please.
Don't make yourself a target and don't try to make a tackle. Remember when Jay Cutler broke his thumb trying to tackle the Chargers?
That was probably the best Bears team that Jay had.
Yep.
And then you ended up with what were they, 7-2 when he got hurt?
Mm-hmm.
And then it was just a disaster.
Yep. So you're absolutely right about that. That maybe you're like, hey, in practice, like, look at me. You know, how many times in college did we see Justin Fields running alongside a wide receiver or a running back and actually outpacing him?
Yes.
When he was just sort of swiveling his head to be that sort of like fighter escort. But in the pros, that gives everybody a chance to get a legal, clean, free shot at you.
Yes. So don't do that.
Right. It's bad.
I'm glad that he didn't get hit. And he did some really cool stuff. The screenplay to Swift was really cool. The doing the high-low on the boot.
Lots of leveled reads.
Yeah, I like that.
There are a lot of half-field, short, medium, long. And we'll talk to Tim Jenkins about this stuff throughout the season.
Hell yeah!
And I love how Tim would phrase it on those leveled reads. He would always say, you gotta look deep. That's the one you really want. What do you say? You got to ask the prettiest girl to the dance. So what if she says no? And seeing where Caleb's eyes are on those, they're allowing him to see this now at that speed, at that level, to make some of those decisions.
It was a really good that particular play was a really good indication of the concept of touchdown to check down, like how he's processing it and thinking like, okay, I'm gonna wait like a half a beat more to make that throw. But I know I've got the flat. I know I have the secondary route if I need it, but I'm going to make the throw down the field.
What it's also done, there was a play the Bears ran with Justin Fields that first hit in the preseason, which is that to one side and a tight end leaking and sneaking into a sail route on the other side of the field where you get all the flow going one way, and sometimes they'll lose that tight end. So I'm interested to see what the variations are when they start to show that for real.
Go ahead. No, you got it. You were going to do something.
Bears training camp coverage is presented by ChevyDrivesChicago.com and the #1 draft pick, Chevy Silverado, the official truck partner of the Chicago Bears.
Would you like to hear from Matt Eberflus?
I would.
Matt Eberflus spoke after the game about how the offense looked.
This overall, we really wanted this to take this opportunity to get the process and have a really good plan in place for the reps we wanted to get. Obviously, a good job on third down, completing that pass to DJ, and then making some explosives there and getting into the red zone. And we stalled out there, and it was 4th and 4, I believe, at the end, so we ended up kicking it. But I thought overall in the pocket, protected the football. I had a consistent performance, and now we got to learn from this and get better. What we did well is very good, and what we need to improve on. And I told the team in the locker room there that we got to level up. I challenged them last week to be able to get better as a whole group, individually, and collectively, and they did that, and we had to do it again because We don't have time not to improve. So there's got to be a sense of urgency in our building.
And the biggest gain was the screen to Swift. What did you see from Caleb on that play, and really from the whole unit and getting that thing to work?
Yeah, just his ability that we see in, you guys have seen it at practice, his ability to get the ball out of his hands really fast when pressure arrives. When that happens sometimes on those screens, so I thought he did a really nice job, getting the ball to him cleanly. And obviously Swift is a guy that is dynamic and really got a lot of good speed. And he's just got to kick his feet up at the end there.
When you guys have the play action, you rolled right, you had Met on the depot.
Yeah.
His ability to pump fake, to buy himself the second, and then to throw a strike on the dead run. And I know you've seen it in practice.
Right.
Seeing it in a game, what did you feel when you saw it?
No, I thought it was really good. He did a nice job of coming out of the fake with speed, which you need to do. And the guys ran their route depths correctly. And they ran with speed too, so they stayed open. A lot of times when you're doing those keepers, you're running away from leverage on defense. So you really got to maintain that speed, and Cole did that on that play. And then, Caleb did a nice job of striking it in there.
Do you have a quarterback looking downfield as he's doing that? Is that something that's taught or kind of inherent?
No, that's taught. That's the read. Yeah, he did a nice job of going through his progression there.
Bates wasn't out there today. Is he dealing with an injury issue? Ryan Bates?
No, it's just something that he's had, from before. But he's fine. He'll be fine working in this week. So, like I said, it's a big week. Tomorrow will be a walkthrough setting to get the corrections, get cleaned up, really do a good job of looking at this game, and like I said, learning from it. And then the players will have a day off to get ready for this big week we have. We have a couple practices, and then we have the joint practice on Thursday, and then a walkthrough again on Friday, and another game. So it's going to be a big week for us to level up.
Matt, what impressed you about Caleb on third down? I think the first completion of DJ was third down, and the 3rd and 9 strike.
Yeah, the poise in the pocket, to ride the pocket there, keep 2 hands on it when he was in the pocket, and then throw a strike. Really good job by DJ coming back to the football too on that one. So it was both, in the protection was solid.
What did you think about Caleb on that play too? Just you talked about the way he battles back in camp, but to have that first play obviously didn't go as well as he would have wanted. To be in that 3rd and long, for him to kind of have the poise to just make the play. Yeah, I think it's good for him. It's the fruits of his labor. He's been working his tail off for 15 practices, and then even before that, all through the summer. So it's good to be able to say, hey, all this drill work, all the things that I've been doing, it's paying off, and I can see the improvements. We're going to look at this tape and then look back and say, hey, what can I learn from this? There's a lot of things that we can learn from this process of getting these reps, as he does in practice when he's going against the one defense.
Bayless around the edge a couple times, but also up the middle, which is a whole different world for him. What do you think of his performance in his first game?
I thought it was positive. We all saw it. It was positive. He did a nice job of really getting north, and you saw his he's got really good lean mass, and he's a physical player, and you can see him really denting that, the tackles to fall forward for those positive yards, to really gain those hidden yards in our favor. So, he's been good back there.
You talked about this being a week-to-week thing.
Yep.
You going to give it another week?
Yeah, I'll talk to Chad and Shane, and we'll get together here in the next couple of days, and we'll figure that out going into the Tuesday practice.
I know you guys feel like you're having a good camp, but is there a different level of excitement when you see Caleb go through something in a game setting? Is there a proof of concept?
Yeah, there's certainly positivity there, and we're not going to squash that. I do feel that we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of things to accomplish as a football team, not just Caleb. We all got to play good around him. So it's important that we keep improving before that first game.
A very measured approach from Matt Eberflus, which is what I would expect. I wouldn't think that any coach would look at the performance and just be like, oh, everything was great. I think that he made mention of all the things that were good and says, oh, we can be better, because you can. And I think that's one of the things that Caleb will try and do. Later on in the show, we'll talk about it. There pretty much isn't a place, if you have a rookie quarterback in the NFL, that you don't feel great about that guy this week. Now, that might mean that this is a great rookie quarterback class, or it could mean it's the first real preseason game.
Or it's probably noise and not signal.
Yeah.
Is all it is. It's a data point for all involved.
That's right.
And as excited as we get and as content-starved as we can be, it's important to remember that. Now, I want to point out something real quick that Matt Eberflus did before his press conference began, as people were filing in. And it may seem like a little thing, but it's a really nice and professional thing that Matt Eberflus did.
Really what Caleb and the offense was able to do.
Just hold on a second.
Sure, go ahead. Oh, here they go.
I gotta wait for my local guys. They
Right.
Much appreciated.
cause a riot. Good. Okay, go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
He held the press conference. He wouldn't answer a question until the local Chicago media showed up. And he said local guys, and I'm sure he was using guys to mean
Unisex.
men and women.
Yeah.
But that's awesome.
I agree.
It is a little thing, and I don't think it was self-serving. As it's good politics, it's good PR. But for him to say, we're not, because he doesn't. When he says there'd be a riot, he understands also that it's just the right thing to do. Those are the people who are there every day. Those are the people who, in effect, are most important to him. And good looking out there. That goes a long way when a coach cares about something like that, because a lot of coaches don't.
It is very, very true. So shout out to Flus.